They had maps of every galaxy. They had destroyed thousands of worlds. No empire was stronger than the Zalrek Empire. Their ships were black as night, fast as light, and armed with weapons that could erase a moon. But even with all their power, there was one planet the Zalrek never touched. Earth. No one knew why. Old star records showed Earth in the center of the Orion Arm, blue and green and beautiful. A perfect world, rich with water, oxygen, and metal. Perfect for conquest, but for thousands of years, an old message kept passing from one generation of Zalrek leaders to the next. Don't go to Earth. Leave that world alone. It is not what it seems. The message had no name, no warning signs, no reasons, just that single line. Many called it a myth, a superstition, a joke from the old days. But the Emperor didn't laugh. Until now, Emperor Valak stood in the high tower of the Star Command Citadel, staring at a hologram of Earth, a quiet blue world. No warships, no defenses, no signals. It was time. He turned to Commander Zell, leader of the scout fleet. Send 3 ships, the Emperor ordered. Small, fast, silent. I want answers. Zell blinked. But, Your Greatness, the warning. Velek raised one clawed finger. We are the Empire. Warnings are for the weak. The scout fleet jumped into Earth's system the next day. 3 sleek Zalrek cruisers appeared just beyond the moon. They turned off all lights, used silent drives, scanned every inch of the planet. There were cities, tall, ancient, empty. There were roads, machines, oceans. But no life signs, no energy signatures, no talking. Earth looked dead. Captain Dran of the lead ship leaned forward. It's abandoned. Like they all just vanished. Then came the strange sound, a whisper on every ship's radio. Not words, not music. Just breathing. Soft, steady, cold. And then screaming. Back on Zalrek Prime, Star Command listened in shock as Captain Dran's voice broke through the static. They're here! No, they see us! How are they seeing us? They shouldn't... Silence. All 3 scout ships vanished. No explosion, no trace, no last coordinates, just gone. High Council met in secret. Fear crept into the voices of the boldest leaders. 3 ships lost, said the speaker. No war, no response, just nothing. Emperor Velak did not blink. He turned to Admiral Zarek, a veteran of 40 space wars. Take the battleship Shadow Fist. Go to Earth. Find the truth. Admiral Zarek saluted, but he didn't speak. Because deep inside, even he felt it. That cold touch on the back of his mind. 2 weeks later, Shadow Fist reached the orbit of Earth. This time, the crew came ready. They launched probes. They fired sensor drones. Nothing came back. Not one signal. The planet remained calm. Too calm. Drop a landing team, Zarek ordered. 10 soldiers, full gear. They landed near what Earth's ancient maps called New York City. Skyscrapers stood tall but empty. Cars sat parked in perfect rows. No bodies. No blood. No dust. It was like the people had walked away seconds ago and never returned. Soldier Rill touched a nearby building wall. It was warm. Sir, she said, there's power. Something's still running. Another soldier, Yal, scanned the area. No life signs, no movement, no wind. Suddenly his scanner blinked red. One word on the screen. Watching. He looked up. Nothing there. Just sky. Then one by one, the soldiers began to vanish. Not with screams. Not with struggle. Just gone, like they'd never been there. Rill was the last to go, but before she disappeared, her helmet camera captured one final image. A human face. Not angry. Not cruel. Just staring, with glowing white eyes. Back on the Shadow Fist, the Admiral reviewed the footage. It made no sense. How could a dead world do this? How could something erase 10 soldiers without a trace? He sent one final message to the Emperor. Earth is not empty. Something waits here, something ancient, something awake. Then the ship began to shake. Lights went dark. The crew screamed. The ship tried to jump away, but something held it, something from the planet. And then the Shadow Fist was gone too. Back on Zalrek Prime, the Emperor stood alone in his tower. 3 scouts, gone. 1 battleship, gone. Thousands of years of warnings. Ignored. He stared at the hologram of Earth again. This time it stared back, and the last thing he heard in his mind was a whisper. You were warned. The Empire waited, for hours, for days, for weeks. But Shadow Fist never came back. 3 scout ships, 1 battleship, all lost near Earth. No message, no debris, no escape pods. Just silence, the kind of silence that felt heavy. Wrong. Hunted. Inside the main war chamber, Zalrek leaders whispered like frightened children. Is it the humans? Are they alive? What kind of power erases ships without a trace? No one had answers, only fear. Admiral Tenra, youngest of the Imperial High Command, stood before the Emperor. We must act. We must find the truth, she said. This is not war, it's something worse. The Emperor nodded. This time, no soldiers, no guns, just watchers. They sent the Spectre Wing, a stealth probe team, 5 small ships, cloaked, fast, silent, each. Carried a team of 2 scientists and 1 pilot. No weapons, only scanners. Their mission, observe Earth. Do not land. Do not speak. Do not disturb. Just watch. The probes reached Earth in 3 jumps. They stayed far above the planet, in high orbit, and for 2 days, everything was quiet. Then, strange things began to happen. Probe 1 circled the North Pole. Its sensors showed nothing. No heat, no movement, no signs of life. But when the crew looked out the window, they saw something different. Lights, cities glowing under the snow, but the scanners showed nothing was there. Just empty land. I see buildings, said Pilot Merrick. I don't, said Scientist Palin. There's nothing on the screen. They stared together, and the lights blinked back. Probe 2 had a worse fate. Their ship moved across the equator above a place once called Africa. Suddenly, time began to slow. Not for the planet, just for them. Their clocks broke. Their voices echoed. 1 crew member blinked, and when she opened her eyes, her partner had aged 50 years, then turned to dust. She screamed. Her own skin began to wrinkle. She hit the emergency beacon. Back on the main ship, all they heard was static. Then her voice. Time is wrong here. It bends. It watches us. And then silence. The remaining probes backed off. They floated farther from Earth. Scared. Probe 3 reported something chilling. There were no satellites above Earth, no stations, no wreckage, nothing man-made in orbit. It was clean, too clean. But Earth had once been full of space tech, hundreds of satellites, debris, ships, and junk, all gone, as if something had swept the sky clean, like a dinner plate before a meal. Probe 4 picked up a faint signal, just one, a sound. It was human language. They translated it. It said, "You came again." Why? We warned you. The message came from the surface, but there were no coordinates, no source, no tower or station, just the words, over and over. Probe 5 was the last to report something. Strange. Their camera picked up shadows moving across Earth's oceans, huge shapes under the water, too big to be whales. Too fast for submarines. They're moving toward the coasts, the pilot whispered. But there are no people there. Scientist Wren tapped the screen. Maybe there are. The mission leader called for full retreat. All probes return. Earth is not safe. They turned to jump back to Zalrek space. 4 probes made it, 1 did not. Probe 2 never escaped. The Empire declared it lost due to malfunction. But the surviving crews knew better. They had seen something in Earth's orbit, not a ship, not a weapon, a presence, invisible, watching, like a ghost across the stars. Back on Zalrek Prime, Admiral Tenra spoke before the full War Council. This is no normal planet. It bends time. It hides truth. It speaks without words. She paused. We have awakened something. The Emperor said nothing. He only watched the stars. And in his mind, he heard something soft and clear. You were warned. In a dark room far from the council, the oldest living Zalrek priest lit a small blue flame. He had read the forbidden tablets, books from ancient times. In them, a story was written in blood and fear. Once long ago, the galaxy tried to take Earth. Many empires came. They fought the humans. The humans lost, then changed. And after that, nothing could stop them. And now the Zalrek had come again. And once more, Earth was waking up. In the great halls of the Zalrek Empire, tension was thick. The priests were afraid. The scientists were confused. The generals were angry. Earth has no fleet, no defense, one commander shouted. So where are our ships? Another asked. No, one answered, until one voice spoke, calm, clear, and cold. Admiral Vekros. I will speak to them, he said. The others turned, shocked. You want to make contact? Emperor Velak asked. With them? Vekros nodded. Not with weapons, not with probes. This time, with words. The Zalrek Empire had used force for thousands of years. They had crushed over 300 species. But now, their strongest ships had vanished, and their best minds had no answers. The only thing left to try was communication. So the Zalrek sent a special ship, a silver vessel, unarmed, full of translators, peace envoys, and light signals. They called it the Whisper Star. Its mission: fly into Earth's orbit, send peaceful greetings, and wait. The Whisper Star reached Earth in 2 days. It stayed high above the clouds, far from cities. Then, using old human radio codes, it sent a message. Greetings from the Zalrek Empire. We come in peace. We regret past mistakes. We seek understanding. The message played in hundreds of languages: English, Mandarin, Hindi, Russian, Arabic. Then they waited. For a whole day, nothing answered, just static, empty skies. But on the second day, something strange happened, Earth replied. The response didn't come as a voice or message. Instead, lights in the cities below turned on, together, in perfect sync. All over the planet, New York, Tokyo, Nairobi, Berlin, Rio, buildings glowed like beacons. Then the Whisper Star's sensors picked up a shape, rising from Earth's surface. Something huge. It wasn't a ship. It was a structure, a black tower made of unknown material, growing from the center of the Atlantic Ocean. Single glowing circle pulsed at its top. The crew stared in awe. What is that? The envoy asked. No one could answer. Then the Whisper Star received another signal, short, direct. Come closer. The Zalrek hesitated, but the admiral had ordered them to speak, to find peace. So the ship moved closer to Earth, closer to the Black Tower. At 1,000 kilometers, the signal came again. Closer. At 500 kilometers, the crew felt pressure, like something pushing against their thoughts. It wasn't pain, but it wasn't natural. One scientist dropped to her knees. Something is inside my mind, she whispered. The captain ordered full stop, but it was too late. Without warning, the Whisper Star was pulled down, gently but firmly, toward the Black Tower. No engines worked, no controls responded. They were being guided. The ship floated into a glowing circle at the top of the tower. Then all lights went out. The crew awoke inside a large, white room. Clean. Silent. There were no walls. No doors. No floor. Just endless light. And then a figure appeared. Not a monster. Not a machine. A human. But something about it was wrong. Its body shimmered. Its eyes were pure white. Its voice was everywhere. "You speak of peace," it said. "But you came with weapons. You came with hunger." The envoy tried to speak. "We want peace now, we—" "Too late," the figure said. And then it changed, its face twisted, showing fear, pain, rage, sadness, all at once. "You are not the first. You will not be the last. But you will learn." The crew screamed. They vanished one by one like smoke. Only the recording device remained. Back on Zalrek Prime, the Whisper Star's data streamed in for 3 minutes. Just enough. Time to show the Black Tower and the figure inside. Then the signal ended. The ship had disappeared. Again. The Empire was in chaos. 3 scout ships, 1 battleship, 1 peaceful envoy, all gone. No survivors, no wreckage, only a voice, now echoing in the minds of Zalrek leaders. "You were warned." And another line, newer, colder. "Now it begins." In the deep files of Zalrek archives, an old file opened by itself. One line appeared on every war screen, every control center, every drone network. In human English. Words from Earth's past. "First contact is never safe, not with monsters." And now the Zalrek knew. Earth had never been silent. It had only been waiting. The Zalrek Empire no longer denied the truth. Earth was not empty. Earth was not broken. Earth was awake. And worse, it was watching. Admiral Tenra stood in front of the High Command, her face cold. "No more probes, no more peaceful talks. We must understand what we are dealing with, clearly, directly." They approved her plan. This time, the Empire would send a science dreadnought, the Eye of Varnak. It was huge, shielded, loaded with the best minds. It carried no weapons, only eyes. Its mission: fly above Earth, observe, do not touch, do not speak, just look. 3 days later, the Eye of Varnak reached the edge of Earth's system. From far away, Earth looked normal. Blue oceans, white clouds, green land, but space around it didn't feel right, too quiet. No radiation, no signals, not even starlight bounced correctly. It was like the system had been rewritten. As the dreadnought moved closer, something happened. Mist. A slow, silver mist began rising from the edge of Earth's orbit. It moved like smoke, but shimmered like metal. "Fog? In space?" one technician whispered. "No." The lead scientist said. "It's not fog, it's—" The mist reached the ship's outer hull, and every screen turned black. Inside the ship, lights flickered, doors locked, and one by one crew members heard things, not through their ears. Through their thoughts. "You still come. You still hunger. You still ignore the warning." Panic spread through the ship. Some screamed. Others went silent. Some started to laugh, loud, broken laughter, as if something had snapped, in their minds. And then, from the bridge window, they saw it. The mist had shaped itself into hands. Massive. Glowing hands pressing around the ship. Not crushing, just holding, testing, studying. One brave scientist, Dr. Norik, activated the emergency data beacon. He recorded his last message. "This is not natural. This is intelligent fog. It thinks. It reacts. It knows we're watching it. Earth is not a planet anymore. It's become something else." Then the mist pulled the ship downward. From the Zalrek capital, they watched the signal die. First, the coordinates vanished, then the heartbeat. Monitors flatlined, then silence. The eye of Varnak was gone. The mist had eaten it. Back on Earth, the oceans were calm. The skies were blue. Everything looked normal, but high above the clouds where satellites once orbited, the silver mist moved. It floated, shifted, reached, waiting for the next visitor. In the Empire's darkest room, hidden deep below the Emperor's palace, a machine buzzed. It was old, forbidden, built from tech stolen during the last human war, thousands of years ago. It was a memory reader, and today it showed something terrifying. A video. Ancient and damaged, from a lost alien race called the Farron. Their last warning: do not enter Earth's sky. Do not land. It is no longer just a world. It remembers pain. It learns from invaders. And now, it feeds. One Zalrek commander dropped to his knees. He whispered, "We didn't attack Earth." Admiral Tenra looked at him. "No," she said, "but we came like all the others, with scanners, with secrets, with pride." She paused. "And it still remembers." Just then, another screen lit up, a transmission, clear, cold, and slow, from Earth. "You lost 5 ships. You still don't understand. This is not a battle. This is a graveyard, and you keep walking into it." Panic spread across the Empire. Families of the lost screamed. Citizens begged for peace. The Emperor ordered silence. And in the shadows, a secret team prepared for the next step. Not peace, not science, but war. The Zalrek had sent words. They had sent peace. They had sent silence. And now they would send fire. They believed Earth had no fleet, no allies, no defense, but they were wrong, so very wrong. Because hidden deep under Earth's crust, something was rising, something old, something human. And it was not happy. In the cold black of space, 5 Zalrek ships now floated, silent, lifeless, lost. The Empire was shaken, but they were not done. They still believed Earth was weak, that humans were gone, that the planet was acting on old defense systems, like a haunted machine. They were wrong. Admiral Tenra stood in front of the war table. "This time," she said, "we send the Ash Flame." The Ash Flame was not a scout, not a probe. It was a planet burner, built to destroy entire worlds. With 3 sun cores, 6 black hole torpedoes, and shields that could survive a star's explosion. The mission was clear: erase Earth. But before the Ash Flame reached Earth's orbit, something happened, something no one expected. The planet spoke. Not through sound, not through signal, but directly into the minds of every Zalrek ship near the system. One message, one sentence, repeating over and over. "You were warned. This is your last step." The crew of the Ash Flame laughed at it. "Empty." "Threats," one officer said, but Admiral Tenra wasn't so sure. As they reached low orbit, something moved in the oceans below. Fast, massive, like a shadow under the sea. Then another shape, and another, 10, 20, 100, all rising. The Admiral stared in silence. "What is that?" someone asked. Then the answer came: Earth's fleet. From the oceans, the clouds, the mountains, massive warships began to rise. Old ships, human ships, covered in seaweed, rock, dust, but still flying, repaired, upgraded, alive. Some were from Earth's last war, ships lost in space or written off as destroyed. Others were never seen before. Black hulls, silent engines, weapons with no known energy source. One ship, the size of a small moon, floated just above the clouds. Its name burned bright on its side: USS Eclipse. The Zalrek crew froze. There were no life signs, someone shouted. There was no activity on this planet. But now, thousands of ships moved like a single organism, tight, focused, silent. The Ash Flame locked its weapons. But before it could fire, a voice rang through every Dexoft human. We waited. We listened. And now we answer. The first blast came from the USS Eclipse. Not a laser, not a missile, but gravity itself. The space around the ash flame bent, screamed. The Zalrek ship twisted inward, like it was being folded, then it exploded. Without fire, without debris, just gone. Back in the Zalrek Empire, 100 billion screens went dark. The ash flame had vanished. No escape pods. No emergency signal. Not even a scream. Just silence. Inside Earth's hidden command core, deep beneath what used to be the Rocky Mountains, a man stood alone. Gray hair, hard eyes, one arm replaced with steel. He looked at the silent room and whispered, "Admiral Cole, reporting for duty." Beside him, ancient AIs came online. Old crew members, now digital ghosts, answered. "Welcome back, sir." He looked at the stars. "They're finally here," he said. The Zalrek didn't understand it yet, but Earth had never been weak. Humans had not died. They had gone quiet. They had watched for centuries. They had rebuilt underground. Under oceans, inside mountains. Not for peace, but for revenge. And now the human fleet rose again, not just with metal and weapons, but with something no other species had. Memory. They remembered the burning skies, the screams, the betrayal, the empires that laughed at them, the worlds that used them. Now Earth remembered, and Earth did not forgive. One last message left the planet. It played across the galaxy in every known language. "We were peaceful once. You taught us not to be. Now, we teach you." The Zalrek Empire, for the first time in 10,000 years, panicked. Not because of ships, not because of weapons, but because humanity was back, and this time, they had come prepared. The Zalrek Empire had ruled for 10,000 years. They had crushed rebellions, destroyed planets, erased histories, but they had never faced a storm like this. Earth had returned, and now the stars were going out. On the far edge of Zalrek space, a trading post blinked in confusion. One by one, the stars in the night sky vanished, not dimmed, not covered by clouds, just gone. "Something is wrong with the sensors," an officer said. But then the moon disappeared, then their own sun, and the message came. "This is not an error. This is the consequence." Across the Empire, lights failed. Warp lanes closed. Communications fell silent. Their machines screamed with strange errors, codes in human English. One word kept repeating, "disconnecting." In the command towers of Zalrek Prime, panic turned to fear. A scientist shouted, "They're not using weapons, they're rewriting physics." Another fell to his knees. "The stars aren't gone, we've been cut off from them." Some begged the Emperor to surrender, others begged the priests to pray, but it was already too late. Out in space, humanity's ghost fleet moved like shadows. They didn't fire. They didn't speak. They simply turned off the sky. The Zalrek's most advanced planet, Vorgan 6, was surrounded in minutes. They had 12 planetary shields, 3 defense moons, 20,000 drones, and none of it mattered. From deep orbit, a single human vessel appeared, small, black, unmarked, and from it came a pulse, gentle, quiet, almost like a breath. Every machine on Vorgan 6 shut down. Every drone fell from the sky. Every screen blinked with the same line. "We remember what you did here." The Zalrek commander screamed, and then the entire planet was swallowed by darkness. Not destroyed, not bombed, just removed, gone from space, as if it never existed. The Zalrek Emperor stared at the last incoming message. It wasn't a threat, wasn't even angry, it was just cold. "You erased our cities. We erased your sun. Balance." Meanwhile, on Earth, the skies were quiet, the oceans calm. But deep under the crust, machines hummed, voices whispered. The AI known only as Lazarus watched the galaxy from a command core beneath the Pacific. "They still don't understand," it said. They think we want power, but we want memory. We want them to feel what we felt. For centuries, Admiral Cole stood at the old bridge of the USS Eclipse. Beside him, digital crew members flickered like ghosts. A young officer turned. "Another Zalrek fleet incoming, sir," he nodded. "Let them come." He looked out the glass into the darkened galaxy. No stars, only Earth's silence. This time, they'll listen. The Zalrek were desperate. They sent ships to neutral. Systems, to allies, to old enemies. But everywhere they went, they found the same thing. No response, no trade, no help, no stars, just silence. Human silence. Back on Zalrek Prime, food began to run low. Drones stopped working. Power grids collapsed. One senator whispered, "They've turned the galaxy into a prison, and we're inside." Someone asked, "Why not just destroy us?" Another replied, "Because they want us to suffer." Like they did. In a deep human archive, a voice recording played on repeat. From Earth's last days before the silence, a human woman, her voice tired, soft. "They burned our skies. They laughed at our cries. But we never forgot. And now, neither will they. The stars weren't dark for everyone, only for those who had invaded Earth long ago, only for those who had celebrated while humans screamed." The rest of the galaxy still saw the light, still saw the warning. One message played in every language, on every neutral world. We did not start this war, but we will finish it. Earth remembers. The Zalrek Empire was dying, not from fire, not from invasion, but from isolation. Their stars were gone. Their machines no longer answered. Their warships floated powerless in space, and across every dark screen, 2 words glowed in soft white. "We remember." The Emperor of the Zalrek stood alone in his private chamber. The halls outside were quiet. No guards, no servants, no more orders to give. He watched the silent sky through a glass wall. No stars, no moons, just endless, black nothing. "Humans," he whispered. "What have you become?" His aide, old and afraid, stepped closer. "We cannot fight shadows, my lord." "We tried to erase them," the Emperor said. "Instead, they erased us." He walked toward the recording chamber. There was only one thing left to do: speak, apologize, hope someone was still listening. He activated the ancient beacon, one that predated even the wars with Earth. He began to speak. "This is Emperor Vectar of the Zalrek Empire. I send this not as a ruler, but as a warning. A mistake we made must never be repeated. We looked upon Earth and saw weakness. We saw a broken species, and we struck them down. But we did not destroy them. We forged them. Their silence was not surrender. It was a storm, waiting to rise." He paused, pain in his voice. "They came back, not with noise or armies, but with memory, with silence, and with perfect understanding of what we feared most. They did not kill us all. They made us watch ourselves." Paul, the beacon glowed brighter. His words were now broadcasting to every planet still able to hear, even neutral worlds, even enemy worlds, even Earth. He finished. "To those who still watch the skies, listen to me. Do not go to Earth. Do not test their silence. Do not forget the price of their pain. They are not monsters, but they will become one if you make them again." He ended the transmission. There were no cheers, no applause, just a slow echoing hum as the last signal left the dying empire. Outside, the last Zalrek power grid flickered and shut off. Across the galaxy, worlds listened. Some cried, some stayed quiet, others deleted the message immediately, too afraid to even remember. But one voice reached back, a soft human reply, one sentence. Message received. Far beneath Earth's surface, Admiral Cole watched the playback. He stood with the AI Lazarus and the digital crew. The last Zalrek signal faded. To Black Cole said nothing. He turned to the fleet logs. One by one, he marked the Empire's systems as neutralized. Lazarus spoke calm and clear. Shall we erase them, Admiral? Cole stared at the blinking cursor on the final Zalrek planet. He thought for a long time, then shook his head. No. Let them live. Let them rebuild. Let them remember. The key. War was over. But Earth had not truly won through firepower. They had won through patience, through silence, through the one thing no empire understood. Human pain becomes memory, and memory becomes weapon. Now, across the galaxy, no one touched Earth again. Trade ships avoided its path. Explorers warned each other. Children were told bedtime stories. Don't go near the blue planet. They remember everything. And Earth? It returned to silence. The ships vanished into clouds, the oceans calmed, the stars came back. But only for the innocent. For the guilty, Earth would always be watching, waiting, listening, remembering. The galaxy was quiet. No wars, no invasions. No more burning skies. But the silence wasn't peace. It was fear. The fear of Earth. Children across the stars learned the story in hushed voices. Long ago, the Empire touched Earth. Earth went dark. Then the stars went dark, and the Empire vanished. They called it the Black Silence. Some said Earth was cursed, others believed it was empty now, but the bravest knew the truth. Earth was watching. Deep under the Atlantic Ocean, in a hidden command bunker, Admiral Cole walked the metal halls of the Final Archive. He was older now. The war was long over, but the mission was not. He stood before a room lined with stasis pods, dozens of them. Inside each pod slept a soldier, men and women of Earth's lost armies, frozen, waiting. Behind him, the AI Lazarus activated the last file. Project, last warning, a voice played, not Cole's, not Lazarus. It was the voice of the first Earth president after the fall, recorded centuries ago. This is not a message of hate. This is not revenge. This is protection. We gave peace. They gave us fire. So we built memory. We built silence. We built them into history. The screen showed recordings, Zalrek ships falling, planets going dark, all without a single human soldier touching the ground. The voice continued. If anyone listens to this, remember, we never wanted war. But if war comes again, Earth will not speak. Earth will simply disappear you. Admiral Cole looked to the stars on the main screen. They were bright again, peaceful. But somewhere out there, someone would forget. Someone would get greedy. Someone would say, the humans are gone. Earth is open. Cole turned to Lazarus. Are the satellites still live? Lazarus replied, Yes, Admiral. Every system, every border, every watcher drone is ready. Cole nodded. Then we wait. Meanwhile, in a faraway system on the edge of known space, a new species had just discovered faster than light travel. They were young, curious, hopeful. They scanned the old star maps, and they saw it. A blue planet, at the center of 100 erased systems. No visitors, no messages, only one strange warning attached to the name. Do not enter, ever. The scientists debated. We should go. It's probably dead now. It's just a story, a ghost planet. They made their decision, and a small scout ship left their world, heading toward the old, silent Earth. On Earth, Lazarus spoke suddenly. Admiral, new ship detected, unknown species, one scout. Cole didn't look surprised. He stared at the rising sun outside the ocean dome. What do we do? Lazarus waited, then said quietly, We send the warning. Cole nodded. Across space, as the scout ship approached Earth's orbit, its screens flickered, lights failed, gravity twisted slightly, and a single voice entered their minds. Calm, firm, human. You are approaching the memory of a broken world. We do not hate you. We do not fear you. But if you take one more step, you will never be remembered again. The scout ship turned around. Fast. Silently. No questions asked. Back on their home world, they erased the star map from their charts and wrote a new law in their books: do not go to Earth. And so the galaxy continued, safe, quiet, because one planet remembered, and the rest of the stars listened. Earth didn't need fleets anymore, or invasions, or war. They only needed memory and one final line that echoed across time. We tried peace once. You made us choose silence. The end.